going to try some chocolate. So we're going to learn a little bit about, there's thousands of years of history, so we're going to kind of go through a little bit really fast. But then we're going to do a hands-on activity where we're going to grind cacao, and we're going to pour cacao. We're going to drink cacao. All right. We can add some of the stuff Aztecs added, like the cinnamon, the chili, the vanilla. So we'll do that. So it's going to be like kind of hands-on. Everybody's going to kind of take turns doing stuff. So we can get going. Okay. So I have a question. How far are we from Chiapas if we were going to drive from Rushville?
3 days.
What is the mileage? Does it tell us on Google Maps? 3,000, yeah. So then, how far do you guys drive right now to get a chocolate bar?
Not that far.
Not that far. So how did that happen? Because it used to not, that's not what happened. But do you guys know, where do you think people actually did drink chocolate? Where do you think they found people drinking cacao in the United States? No, but where? But what location do you think? Yeah, so in that area. So actually, they found in New Mexico, there's a place called Chaco Canyon, which is now in Navajo Nation. They found they found these vessels, and there was a professor from New Mexico, Patricia Crown, and she's like, they found the vessels in like the late 1800s, but then she kept looking at them, and they had this color called a Maya blue, and it's only the Maya did it. She's like, what is this? So she asked a colleague, and they tested the ceramic, and they found out they were drinking cacao there. So I drove out, we went out there this summer. All right. But that's a big part of history with cacao is ceramics. That's how, obviously these are not real, but this is how we know so much about history, because of ceramics. Ceramics tell us so much. All right. So to start, my name's Nettie Atkisson, and I am the author of children's books, Boba and Butters, they're out there, and The Chocolate Seed. And I became interested in chocolate because of the history. So people always say, oh, Nettie, you love chocolate so much. And it's not that I don't, but I just love learning about all the ways it's been used for thousands of years and is being used now. And there was a professor named Michael Coe and Sophie Coe. He was an expert in Olmec and ancient civilizations, and now what is like Guatemala and Mexico. And his wife was down there with him, and she became really fascinated by chocolate because it is fascinating. So she started writing a book, and then sadly died of cancer. So he took over, and I saw him speak in 2001, and I was like, I didn't know it was a fruit. I didn't know the seeds. I ate it, but I had no idea. Like, what chocolate has everybody eaten this week already, besides this festival? Did you have chocolate before you came here? Yeah, all right? So this is not what we mean to make Bain de Bar. I just make dumb jokes about stuff, but that's like, what are those, Heinz beans? I used to live in England. They eat those every day for breakfast. Okay, so we're gonna skip this whole part about the process of chocolate, because I'm sure you guys have, and you can ask me about it after if you want, because I wanna get more into hands-on. So we're gonna skip the part about how it's made, but you can always ask me after. Okay, but this is something I wanted to talk about, because you guys have all been out there all week, all day, and you've probably seen people say, I have an 85% chocolate bar, right? So this is a very simplified version, but it means you got about 15% sugar and 85% cacao solids. You got 85% of the beans, right? Okay, so let's go again. When you go to, there's an 80% bar. There's a 70% bar. There's a dark milk bar. Now it's really common in craft chocolate to have a dark milk bar. So you still have a lot of cacao solids, but you also have milk, okay? So you see that? That is a Cadbury chocolate bar. And that is a Hershey's, that's a Hershey's bar. Wow. And I'm not trying to say don't put Hershey's on your s'mores. I'm just saying there's other possibilities. I'm just trying to open you up, right? So we all grew up with that. So it just kind of gives you just an education of where it is. I'm not going to take questions right now because we want to get to the hands-on. A lot of people don't like dark chocolate, right? Yeah. But are you guys adapting a little bit at this festival? The more you, I used to not like it. I hated it. But then the more I ate, the more I liked. But also, if you get a good kind of cacao that is well fermented, well dried, well ground, well made, it doesn't have to be bitter and terrible, okay? I think people have that idea, but it doesn't have to be bad. And also our palates can adjust. Okay, you guys are gonna taste some chocolate today. So you are going to smell it. And then I want you to take 1 or 2 bites, but then let it melt on your tongue and breathe deep because you get a lot of your flavor orthonasal. So please take a lot of deep breaths and let it, half of your cocoa bean is cocoa butter. It's like you press olives, you get olive oil, you press cocoa beans, you get cocoa butter. And that cocoa butter, when it warms up on your tongue, that's gonna release your flavor. Yeah, it's okay.
I thought cocoa butter was the part inside the pod separate from the bean. That's wrong.
That's the fruit.
That's the fruit.
So yeah, you've got the, well, let me show you after. They've got, actually, if we get you so now I don't even know what direction I'm going in. Ha ha. So what did I do with my thing? So yeah, there's cacao fruit because it's a fruit. So you've got the pulp around it. Okay, I've got to like go through my thing. Okay, so you've got cacao pulp, and that is fermented off. And then what remains is the seeds. Oh yeah, everybody can try some. Here, we'll give you some. We'll squeeze it out and you guys can try some cacao pulp. Now this tastes like the fresh fruit as much as applesauce tastes like the fresh apple, okay? It gives you an idea, all right? And there's several varieties of cacao just like there are of apples, so it's gonna have a certain, it's gonna have a little bit of a taste. Okay, so for years, everybody thought the first place that cacao was used was Mesoamerica, which is now like Honduras and Belize and El Salvador, Guatemala, and parts of Mexico. And let's remember, the thing with history is it's always changing. So what I say to you guys today could change tomorrow, but these are some things we know, right? And definitely in Mesoamerica, cacao was used all the time and was very developed in its use and very common. But now what they found, then they thought it was in Ecuador, in an area called Santa Ana La Florida. And 5,300 years ago, now there's nothing written, and so they don't think that they were making actually chocolate, but they think they were consuming the fruit. In my opinion, probably good chance they were fermenting it. Like everybody wants to get drunk, everybody wants to drink alcohol, so they were probably fermenting it. But they were definitely bearing people with it. These vases had, and remember I told you ceramics, how important they are? These vases had the theobromine. Theobromine, caffeine in coffee, we know. Theobromine is the alkaloid in cacao, and that's how we know that they had cacao and they were using it, okay? So then for several years, since like, I don't know, 20 something, 13, 14, 15, everybody said, oh, now we know Ecuador. And then guess what? Even before that, people had realized they were drinking it. And these areas, these two sites are 6 hours from each other. I mean, we live under the boundaries, like in the front, I want to say frontera, which is Spanish. We live under the borders, but there was not the borders, right? It wasn't Peru, it wasn't Ecuador. So they're 6 hours from each other. And now they found, this is 6,000 years ago, they found cacao. Now, the thing is, maybe at that other site, they have a pot for 6,000 years. We just didn't find it. I don't know, but just so you know, generally this is where they think cacao came from. And why? Because they have a lot of genetic diversity. And if it's been there longer, it's had longer time to breed and develop. And, because the largest genetic diversity in the world in humans, I think, is in Africa, right? So people say humans started in Africa, right? So in cacao, it's in this area between like Peru and Ecuador. And the really cool thing, if you know anything about like indigenous cultures, what's really cool is they talk a lot about coming from the earth and coming out and climbing out onto the earth. They also talk about finding the center place. So a lot of people think Chaco Canyon in New Mexico is the center place. And where people were, people were originated and where they came out from under the earth. And then you see this spiral? Right? Some people say it's like a birth canal too, but you see this shape. So that's pretty cool. All right. So if you guys know Huaca Monte Grande in Peru, And so they found, again, the theobroma and these ceramic pieces. Again, ceramic is so important. If you guys go to New Jersey or LA or so many places, they have these old vases that were used for cacao that you can see images. So the ceramics is really important in the story of cacao too. Okay, and so I hit it twice and then it didn't work, and then I have a blank one. This is funny. Okay, so yeah, you guys see the difference. This is like how far those two sites are, just to give you context. You know, I mean, the people were intermingling. The trade routes between these crowds was incredible. The trade routes were incredible. Okay, so we're gonna have one of his chocolates. He's a Peruvian American that makes his chocolate in Peru. It's great. You're gonna have one of his bars. Oh, so what we're supposed to do right now, you guys are all supposed to eat a piece of chocolate from Peru. So you guys all get a piece of chocolate from Peru. So remember.
So we have 10 samples. There's a bit more than 10 people here, so you might have to share.
Or, yeah.
Let's see how we do here.
So you're gonna try chocolate from Peru. Now, obviously,
Big enough.
yeah, we could open up another one too.
Did we start with one?
Yeah, start, Audrey, it's number one that they're starting with? Yeah. Everybody start with, wait, Curtis, why do they have 5? Oh, because everybody has their own plate. So start with number 1. Yeah, I didn't know how they set it up. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you guys, cacao, chocolate, you know, we know it was traveling up this, along the coast. There was incredible trade routes. People were trading. Guess what? In Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, they didn't just find cacao. They found macaw feathers. There's no macaw feathers in that area. So those were coming from 2,000 miles away. They found bells and copper. They found some shells that would have come from the Pacific Ocean. So we know people were coming together to these ancient sites and gathering and sharing knowledge, sharing wisdom, talking. And cacao traveled with that, okay?
Which is the bar, which is number 1?
No, I'm sorry, guys. Number 1 is, this is a chocolate made, oh, and we have some more to open. This is a chocolate made in Stuart, Florida, by a woman named Denise Castronovo. She studied her studies were in environmental science, and anyway, so she was already interested in the environment, like way before it was cool to be interested in the environment, and that ended up leading her to cacao and chocolate. So she goes to the Amazon rainforest a lot. She works with this group of women. That's where the cacao is coming from. And so what do you guys think of that? That's a 70% bar, and this is from Peru. And you know, and the thing is, when we try chocolate, you don't offend me. Like if you spit it out, you hate something, it's okay. Like you're not gonna like everything, right? And nobody's offended by that. It's just about giving your taste buds a run for their money. Okay, so we got that one. Should we eat another? We need to eat another Peruvian one, right? So let's pull out, you guys do number 2. Which one?
The lady.
Oh, you want him? Oh, this isn't Denise. I'm sorry, this is disorganized. It's dumb.
Oh, okay.
But this is a good bar too. Okay, so everybody eat their number 2 as well. Here's a way you can kind of see what flavors you taste. It doesn't matter if you taste them or not. Just enjoy your time. But sometimes you're like eating and you're like, oh, what do I taste? What do I taste? Maybe you get raisin or grassy or coconut. Maybe you get, lychee, melon. And I'm sorry I'm kind of rushing through here, but I want you guys all to have the hands-on time.
So what's the number 2?
The number 2 is also Peru from the same maker. And the reason why I wanted you to do these 2 is because, some people think, oh, my chocolate comes from Peru. It tastes the same. No, it doesn't. Even on the same farm, your cacao can taste different. The next year it can taste different. Like a fine wine, it's a fruit. It's going to change all the time. So this is from Peru, again, but from a different area, different beans. You guys taste the difference? Yeah. Do we need to send anything or any more of this around? Anybody? Do you guys prefer one or the other? Did you get any, sir? In the back row, you got some? Did you prefer one or the other, 1 or 2? Number 1? Are they vastly different? I didn't try the first one and I didn't try the second one. But you see how different they are, right? Chocolate is not chocolate. It's not like we all kind of got used to like a flavor of chocolate, which was really milk, sugar, and vanilla and other things, right? So chocolate can have a wide variety of flavors. Okay, so a lot of people think Columbus was the first that brought chocolate, maybe. Did anybody think maybe Columbus was the first one to bring chocolate to? No. He did have an encounter off the coast of Honduras, and so you guys are going to have your Honduran bar from Yohoa, which is number, no, you got to do number 4, and we'll go back to number 3. So he did, so what happened is he came off the coast of Honduras on this island called Guanaja, okay? And what happened is a bunch of Mayan men came out in their canoes to trade. And I think we all know that like Christopher Columbus wasn't really there to make like a fair trade. But so okay, so if you think about the Spanish, what is a nut that grows in Spain that people see all the time? There could be that, and also almonds. Almonds are all over Spain. And so in his context, he had never seen cacao, he didn't know about cacao, he knew nothing. But he knew almonds. So what happened is these traders come out, and at this point, Mayans were using this as currency, part of their currency, right? I mean, it wasn't this, they would trade lots of stuff, but so they brought out their stuff to trade. They just, in their context, these guys are gonna have these, we have these, we're all gonna trade. And the Spanish see them, and they're like, why do they have almonds? And then they said some of the traders actually dropped them on the bottom of the canoe, and they were freaking out like they dropped an eyeball. Like it was that important to them. And so they couldn't figure out why is this so important to them, right? But this is not where it made it to the new land. Okay. So
Honduran bar?
Thank you. Honduran bar is, you can buy it out there from Elmer, from Yohoa. Shoot, I should have asked you guys. This one has sesame. Is anybody allergic to sesame? I should have asked. That was totally irresponsible. I'm so sorry. This one has salt and sesame.
Number 4.
Number 4. What'd you guys think? Okay, now go back to number 3 while I keep talking. This one is made in Peru as well, Cacasuyo. I think this is one of the best milk chocolate bars in craft chocolate. So try number 3.
Number 3 has milk.
Number 3 has milk. Thank you. Number 3 has milk. That's a milk, okay? Ooh, guys, I gotta be better at that. I just wanted to give you context. When Columbus showed up to the coast of Honduras, Mona Lisa painting had just been started. So he actually they think he finished it because he was like so ADHD and moving on and a perfectionist and never finishing anything, Leonardo, that they think he finished it actually in 1519, which is when Cortez arrived in Spain, which is when really we start getting cacao moving. Okay, so this is what they said. For their provisions, they had many of these almonds, which in New Spain are used for money. This is Christopher Columbus's son. They seemed to hold these almonds at a great price, for when they were brought on board the ship together with their goods, I observed that when these almonds fell, they stopped to pick it up as if an eye had fallen out. Okay, I'm gonna probably skip this, but I made a joke. These were like Tinder profiles for like Hernan Cortez and Montezuma, because we're gonna meet both of these guys right now. So Hernan Cortez, a conquistador, a strategist, a risk taker who hated human sacrifice so much I was willing to slaughter armies to end it. Fame drives me more than fortune, though I never turned down gold, and I've nearly died more times than I can count. Quick on my feet and great at strategy, I burned my ships to prove retreat wasn't an option, took Montezuma under house arrest within a week of arriving in Tenochtitlan, and preached Christianity wherever I went. Banned from Cuba and celebrated by chronicles, I thrive on bold moves, dangerous alliances, and rewriting history. Swipe right if you want a man who chases destiny, defies governors, and always finds a way out of trouble. So Cortez was a young man who grew up in a part of Spain where a lot of conquistadors came from. It was called Extremadura, which is funny because in Spanish that means like extreme hard. Extremadura, dura is hard. Anyway, I don't think that's what it really meant. But so a lot of them came from Extremadura, and he, like a lot of young men, he wanted to seek fame and fortune. He says he didn't care as much about fortune as he did about fame. But, they were all very happy to see the gold that was in, what is now Mexico. They were all very happy to see it. Montezuma, I'll tell you a little bit more about him. I mean, he grew up, Montezuma grew up, his real name is Motecuzoma Xocoyotzin. That's his real name. And then the Spanish called him Moctezuma. And if you go to Mexico, still they call him Moctezuma. And then we made it Montezuma. So he grew up wealthy. He grew up Come on in, Carla. You can come to the front row. He grew up, prepared to be emperor. He actually helped. He actually fought a lot of battles and helped the Aztec Empire expand a lot. So you guys already see cacao. Okay, so one thing they would put in it, this is called lipstick plant. Has anybody seen this in Hawaii? It's called achiote, and see how it colors your hands? So it could color the cacao. It would kind of make it really red, and we can add some today. Let's see how much time we have, but it would make it red. Some say it was to mimic the blood, because the priests of the Aztec priests, their hair and ears were usually covered in blood. They drip it kind of self-sacrificial, sometimes into the cacao, sometimes into other things. But what the Spanish chronicler said is that a lot of the priests on top of the pyramids, temples, would usually have matted blood hair. And cut ears, and they were like using, using blood. And so some people say the achiote is for that. But you see how the achiote makes it red? And you know what's funny? Now think about food in Philippines. Philippines, named after King Philip from Spain. They went to the Philippines, I don't know what time period, but think about adobo chicken. Adobo chicken uses achiote, which was brought again by the Spanish. You guys know any other foods brought to our parts of the world from Mesoamerica? Can you guys think of any other ones? Potatoes. Corn. Tomatoes. Vanilla. We're probably missing some. Probably that one, yeah. So a lot of we have them to thank for a lot of these spices. Cinnamon, no, but a lot of people call it Mexican hot chocolate now cinnamon, but it's not. Cinnamon came from other parts of the world. Why is it empty? I don't know. Okay, so this is actually a vase. This is in a codex. And you see them pouring the cacao to get foam. So here's the person grinding, and we're gonna grind. And this, I just have a stupid sense of humor, okay? So I look at these ancient pictures. I mean, these are ancient. And I just see this person like shouting it like a younger woman, right? Because women did all the work of chocolate. So she says, do you have any idea how much cacao costs? You better not spill any of it. And he says, cacao is currency. The podcast I listen to at work says future is crypto. But doesn't it look like he's wearing headphones? Yeah. Doesn't look like he's wearing headphones. So we're going to do that. That's why I'm kind of rushing through. I taught a different class last year. And so we talked more about history and didn't do hands-on. But do you guys see what you could buy for one cocoa bean? And these porters were really important because they'd bring the goods up and down. So let me get down. So they also found in Honduras, my slide's out of order, so how embarrassing. But in Honduras, where you ate the chocolate, they found this other ancient pot with cacao in it called the Rio Azul vessel, which is really famous because look at it, it has a twist top, twists. And this is David Stewart. He's the one that cracked the Mayan code. When you see these Maya glyphs, you know it's Mayan, okay? This is not Aztec, this is Mayan. The Aztecs didn't have a written language. This means cacawa. It goes back to the story of the twins who were killed and then resurrected as a fish. It's a long story. But anyway, so this means, so the fish is kind of symbolism to that, but cacawa, and that's how we get cacao. The cacawa, that's Mayan. The Aztecs, it's believed, said chocolato. Okay, we're not eating that. We're not eating that. Okay, so we're going to do this. So when the Spanish arrived, and this is kind of the first records we have of what was happening. Hernan Cortez said that, and Hernan Cortez, he was, let me just say it again because I know not everybody knows who he was. He was a conquistador who came from Spain, spent some time in Cuba, spent some time in what is now the Dominican Republic, was very ambitious. And the governor of Cuba was very annoyed by him because he was such an ambitious young man. And so they would fight. He finally convinces this guy, his name's Velasquez, to let him go to what is now Mexico to check it out. And Velasquez, for whatever reason, was like, okay. And then he changed his mind. He's like, oh, I shouldn't do it. So he sent people to tell him he couldn't go, but Cortez didn't listen and left. And that was basically the way this guy was. Nobody could tell him what to do. He did what he wanted to do, and nobody could stop him. So he goes to what is now Mexico, the Aztecs were kind of generally hated because they were taking tributes from people, and they were getting all sorts of goods from people, and everybody had to bow to the Aztecs. And so basically, they were sick of it. So when the Spanish arrived and wanted to take them over with only 500 troops, some horses, some swords, some guns, they got a lot of people that were already in Mesoamerica to say, excuse me, hell yes, we will go help you fight these guys. And so they got a lot of help, okay? So when they get to this amazing city, which is called Tenochtitlan, which is now Mexico City, I mean, they could not believe the amount of goods that were there, the amount of knowledge that was there, the beautiful homes. They could build, like they call them chinampas, they're like floating islands for their gardens. I mean, they could not believe. And some of these people had been in Constantinople, I believe, but these troops had been around the world, and they could not believe the amount of goods. They could not believe the amount of wealth. And they actually tucked into this room once and found just all the gold and everything. But the Aztecs didn't really care as much about the gold as they did about the special feathers. So anyway, so Cortez said, he described it as a divine drink, which is builds up resistance and fights fatigue. A cup of it permits a man to walk for a whole day without food. He emphasized its role in sustaining warriors and its prestige in Aztec society. And then Bernal Diaz Castillo, this guy, this is one of the records that people know a lot about what happened with the conquistadors, because he wrote a record. It's crazy how much stuff this guy survived. It's crazy. But we have his documentation, which he did write after the fact. It would have been better if he would have written it like before, but who am I to judge? I'm not keeping a journal. But he said Montezuma, the emperor of the Aztecs, drank cacao regularly. From time to time, they served him in cups of fine gold, a certain drink made from cacao. They said it gave a man strength for the women. He had about 100 women in the palace, right? A few of them. Yeah. Let's see, it's probably gonna move slow. Okay, so look, we're gonna all stand up and try grinding. So this stone, you know what's really cool, and I don't think I got any in my slide show. Anyway, I wasn't supposed to end up speaking, and then I did at the last minute, so thank you for your patience. But anyway, so what happened was, these stones, it was so funny, when we were in New Mexico, going to all the ancient sites, you didn't see this exact one, okay? This is in good shape, it's brand new. It's like, these grinding stones were everywhere. They had them at Mesa Verde, they had them at Aztec National Monument, they had them in Chaco, everywhere. These grinding stones were everywhere, because people were grinding, obviously, they were grinding corn and chilies and cacao, they were grinding everything. Like, they did not have our Cuisinart. They did not have our Blendtec, so they were grinding with these, okay? So, oh, and we'll do this. This you can tell is an Aztec codice. The codices are like, historical documents that show us pictures of what was happening, but you see them grinding right here. Okay, so people want to come and take a turn to grind? You're going to be it's hot, so be careful, but you're going to take a turn to kind of grind like this, okay? So everybody kind of come take a turn with that. Yeah, this is good. And while some of you are grinding, I'm gonna have some of you start pouring, okay? So just take turns, like, a couple times grinding. This is hot, yeah.
So interesting.
So you think how hard this would have been, and remember, it's really hot. Here, I'll put this.
Can I do it from this side?
Yeah, it's really hot, super hot. So the women were grinding, and you needed it warm and hot, because you know what happened last year in Indiana? I brought this grinding stone, and we didn't heat it up. This time we heated it up in the oven. We didn't grind it up. The cacao was solid. It was so cold, it didn't, so you really need it warm.
I can hold it.
Is it kind of moving around? Okay, and then some of you can come here. One thing that they always wanted to have, and I can go back to my slide. Who loves a cappuccino? What do you love about a cappuccino? Why do we prefer a cappuccino to a latte? It could be more sugar if you add it. But what's the difference? What's the difference between a latte and a cappuccino?
Stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about the foam?
Yeah.
The foam's on top. The foam's on top. Latte's kind of mixed in.
I'm too weak to.
So we're going to be kind of looking at like an Aztec cappuccino. So they would pour from up tall. Did you guys see me? Let me go find my image for you guys. Well, let me find the image. So, okay, can you guys kind of see? She's pouring it tall like that, and we're going to do that. One of the reasons, obviously, with this granular cacao, to mix it, you're going to have to like find a way to mix it, right? But also, they liked the foam. Now, some people keep saying to me, oh, you know, they just like foam because foam is nice. But I don't know. I've kept wanting to dig through that because there's got to be symbolism in it, right? So I've talked to an indigenous gentleman from the Amazon, and he said, well, we don't think we just feed our body. We feed our spirit. And the foam would feed our spirit. And again, I'm not saying that one person speaks for so many different cultures, right? But some people say, oh, it feeds our spirit to have the foam. So look, do you guys see the foam in this image? Yeah. Here's this foam. And so it was often with foam. So they'd pour it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's why this is all over the floor, so you guys can pour. How are we doing on time? So you guys can pour. So also check this out, you guys. So this is, again, a vase. This is like a cup that they drink cacao out of. And you guys see, these are tamales. They've been drinking cacao and eating tamales together for a long time. And you know what's really cool? When I go around traveling, still, like just on the streets of New York City, at 6 a.m., there will be, cacao drinks are so big in Mexico, there are so many different varieties, that I will be walking around the streets of New York City, and there will be somebody at 6 a.m., I don't usually get up at that early, but I get up on purpose because I know they're doing it. At 6 a.m., there is somebody from Mexico selling tamales and a chocolate drink called champurrado. It has cinnamon and milk and corn and cacao. And they are making it for people that are going to work. I saw somebody on the streets of South Carolina driving her station wagon around, and I was like, wait, what are you doing? You know, and I speak Spanish. I was like, what's happening? And she said, she was selling the chocolate drink with the tamales for the workers. It's still a part of it, okay? Cacao drinks are still such a big part of the culture, and there's so many varieties. If you go to Chiapas, where Oscar's from, Tabasco, right outside of Mexico City, Puebla or Oaxaca, those are the big places of drinks. And they still have this drink. Like I saw a woman with a big wooden bowl and this like foam on top that looked disgusting. Like it looked really gross, but the drink was amazing. It had like cinnamon, rice, it was cold. Like you gotta think a lot of times they were drinking it cold. Who's been to Mexico? Or Costa Rica, or someone really hot? Jamaica, wherever, South Carolina, Texas, New York in the summer. Like, you know, they were drinking it cold, really refreshing. So we were walking through the streets of Puebla and this woman had a big bowl, took a drink, so refreshing. Okay, this vase is in LA, okay? And this is, they believe, a marriage ceremony, okay? They're negotiating a marriage ceremony because cacao is part of diplomacy, funerary, you know, troops, getting people ready, like, you know, events. So I just make stupid jokes, but like, doesn't it look like he's saying, I'm not sharing my hot chocolate with you? And he's saying, you are so mean. And this guy says, what if I give you these or this giant hamburger? Then will you share? And we can tell this is Mayan again because of the Maya glyphs. Okay? So yeah, this was on South Street in South Carolina. She was selling the champurrado. So the drinks are really big. Still, like cacao drinks are so big. So we drink, okay, when do you guys think the chocolate bar was invented?
1743.
That is a good.
Well, what country, maybe? Who do you think made? They kept drinking it. But when we brought it to Europe in 1847, the Fry brothers in England, there was a lot of Quakers doing chocolate, involved in chocolate. And so the Fry brothers, okay, you guys are gonna get a turn to do this. I don't know how we're doing on time, but look, you guys, I've never done this at the festival, so we might get fired. But like, I just want you guys to come and try. Everybody take a turn pouring back and forth because I wanna see how big we can get our foam. So go. So I want you guys, let's try break.
So it's been a half hour.
Okay. So we got like 15 minutes, so I can slow down a little bit. So yeah, just keep pouring back and forth. And then after that, we're gonna. You gotta go higher. Oh, she's wearing white. We're gonna give her a break. Okay, she's wearing white. She's wearing white.
Yeah, I see them in Louisville where we live. It's a Mexican breakfast restaurant. That's how they pour up really high.
They do it.
They do it in the restaurant where we live.
I live in Louisville. Which restaurant?
What's the one that has like 5 locations?
I don't know. I moved here like 6 months ago.
Sierra House. No, it's
Okay, who's going next?
someone you don't know here.
Who's going next?
Oh,
We're making an Aztec cappuccino, friends.
give me a moment. Yeah,
Only at the Midwest Craft Chocolate Festival.
yeah. They do lunch.
Okay, who's coming?
So we need to go high. We need someone aggressive.
How tall are you?
Higher than
He's tall. Whoa.
It's okay, we got the plastic. We knew that would happen. Okay, we're starting to get some foam, right? We're starting to get some foam. Okay, who's next?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. That's it. They have 5 locations. And when they pour their, like a coffee, and it might be this one, they pour it up high. Like they're
Okay, yep.
this high in the top.
Be inspired by the priestess.
Just one time, or they do it start? They're not doing it back and forth. One time, that's really one time, really up high. That's what, when she started doing this.
Key, you gonna come do it? Come take a turn.
we don't have the skills of the lions.
Yeah, right? That's a good idea to try to go. I feel like this is a beer drinking game or something. We're like, nobody's drinking beer, but the pouring is getting worse and worse. We're like, it's like somehow everybody's getting drunker or something.
Yep.
Woo! We gotta have him do it again. Hold on. I'm gonna get you from. Okay, I want to get you doing it again. Hold on, one time. Okay.
That's pretty good. That's the secret. Go low and
Yeah.
high.
Go low and then high, but you also have to be able to see.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to turn?
No.
Try it.
Okay.
We're not getting that much fun.
I'll do it one more time.
We probably needed more in it, but we have to respect the Love Center at Rushville since it's brand new and not get our.
We'll go high.
Okay, let's try to go high.
Oh, half of it went out.
A little bit of fun.
Okay, if anything, shouldn't we all respect the work of women more? Okay, you guys, you know what? The Spanish decided that was too hard. So they made something called the molinillo. The molinillo. And let me be honest, when the Spanish first came and they tried this, they did not love it. They said it was meant for pigs. You know, they did not love it. So you're having no sugar, right? But it could be sweetened by honey. Vanilla, some chili powder. They had these things called ear flowers, which let's not get into. But and then they could put achiote, some vanilla bean. So you guys, we're gonna come try to work and make it, I guess we can turn, oh, that's off. Who's gonna come? We're gonna try to get the froth the way the Spanish did it. So everybody can come have a turn with the molinillo. Okay? And then we can drink some of this, huh? We could drink some. If we can make ourselves an Aztec cappuccino. Yeah, go. You guys go. Oh, I probably should clean this up, huh? So people can step. Whoever's next is gonna be like, what is going on? But you know, we can probably just fold that right up. I'm gonna fold this up so we're not stepping on the chocolate. There we go. All right. All right. So let's try our,
Hard and fast.
let's see how hard it is to get the foam. This gentleman drove in from Louisville today. Okay, sweetie, you got it? The other way. And again, like, I don't want to cut this short. I mean, obviously,
Can you tell the
it,
story of what the Mayan guy told us about?
I have that. So let me just say, you guys, like, we're going through thousands of years of history and several civilizations, right? The Maya, the Olmec, the Aztec, there's so many people. So I don't want to cut it short, but I just thought it'd be fun if we did hands-on. So let me show you. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's South Carolina. Oh, and look, this is the streets of Manhattan, where I live. This is the streets of Manhattan, where I live. I was on the way to the doctor. Here's this guy pulling out. Here's his setup. And that's the chocolate drink. And they get up so early and work so hard. So by the time it's like 7, they're done because everybody's going to work. Here's the foam. Friends, look, it says, loathsome to such as not acquainted with it, having a scum or froth that is very unpleasant to taste. That was one opinion of a Spanish chronicler. Okay, so let me find, okay, one thing I want to tell you, let me find this map. Hold on. Why is this out of order? Sorry, friends. Oh, okay, I want to tell you, this is going to help. So when the Spanish arrived, just so you know who was in Spain, it was Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor. It was Henry VIII. He was on the throne when these guys showed up, just to give you some context. You can kind of imagine this being, so here's Hernan Cortez, very dapper gentleman. And here's Montezuma. So I want to show you guys this because Montezuma helped take over more land. Everything pink is the Aztec, this is Aztec, right, okay? But look at this, look how far this pink part is. Any guesses why they would want that area?
Because that's more like, there's a lot of trees.
There's a lot of trees, and what can happen when you have a lot of trees?
Or plants.
A lot of plants, and what can plants make? Fruit and food. So this area has actually, it's called Soconusco, and it has been fought over for a long time. They fight over it because it's so fertile. So Montezuma helped them take this area over. Look how far away it is. So this is all areas packing through people that don't like them. So they had these traders called Pochteca that were military guys. Okay, this is why it's called, I'm going to show you the Pochteca. The reason it's called Soconusco, and when you go and see Soconusco cacao, everybody wanted cacao from Soconusco. That was the area, the Spanish wanted it. It was the popular area. What it means is the place of the sour cactus. That's a Xoconostle in the Nahuatl language of the Aztecs. Xoconostle. It means the place of, the place of the sour cactus. This is my friend, Tomas. He took me to his ranch and walked me around and showed me what they look like. And they are sour. So it's like a prickly pear, but it is really, really sour. So that's where Soconusco gets its name. The Aztecs took it over and called it the land of the sour cactus. So they would send down their traders to Soconusco to take, this is actually from an ancient codex that shows what they were like taxing, making like tributes, like making them bring back. So jaguar pelts, really big, okay? You guys, the feathers. So when the other groups, like there's a group called the Tlaxcalans, and some Mexicans still say they're stupid. Other Mexicans are like, the Tlaxcalans are stupid. They helped the Aztecs. Actually, I teach at preschool at Harlem, and one of my little girls is from Tlaxcala right now. And my friend is like, you mean to tell me that innocent little girl has Aztec blood on her hands? But anyway, when the Tlaxcalans helped the Spanish, they found all the gold, but the Fox colonists didn't want the gold. They wanted the feathers. They wanted to take the Aztecs' feathers. But anyway, guess what? This is cacao. So that's cacao. So those, they would be carried on the backs of these guys. These are called Pochteca, and the Pochteca were really well-trained warriors because you have to protect the goods that you're bringing back to the empire. So these guys were really well-trained warriors, and they just walk and walk and walk. Anyway, so I want to show you guys one last thing, and then I can stay or ask questions because I know I've been kind of rushed because I wanted hands-on. You guys, Tenochtitlan was incredible. The Spanish chroniclers just said it was just mind-blowing. I wish so badly I could see it. And they had all those floating causeways. Yeah, so look, you guys, somebody said it's more a drink for pigs than a drink for humanity in the words of Conquistador. Okay. So you guys, this is just water and chocolate. Water and cacao. Curtis, which cacao did you use?
I use mainly
The ones from you used the one from yeah, so that's good. We're good. Okay, you guys, really quickly. I was down in Mexico last year and I was with a young Mayan man. And when I speak about a Mayan or somebody, I don't want to say that they're all the same, okay? Like we can't, like not all people from Indiana are the same. Not all people from Louisiana are the same. Not all people in America are the same. So I don't want to say they're all the same. But one experience I had with one Mayan man whose name was Jesus. And he said, just so you know, since the Spanish have come, we are completely melded together. So he said, I am Mayan, but my name is Jesus. And he said, what we used to do, because the Spanish, one of the first things that Cortez did, like I am literally saying within hours, was preach Christianity to the people. And they wanted to get rid of the beliefs that were there and replace with Christianity. So he said, well, one thing we did is we just started telling the Spanish, drinking cacao is very holy. Because on our knees, we grind it. What else do we do on our knees? Pray. And then with our hands together,
we pray.
And then when you guys drink it, where do we look? To God, right? So this says, "Que tan santo es el chocolate." Where is this? "Que de rodillas se muele." On our knees, we grind it. Y juntando las manos se bate. And then mirando al cielo se bebe. So this is some pictures of chocolate and cacao, and I kind of talked a lot, and that was thousands of years of history, but also I want to say this. Some people think the trend is going to go back to drinking chocolate that we made at bars and confections, and we're still going to have confections, but we're going to go back to drinking more hot chocolate. That trend is kind of coming. Anyway, is there anything I can answer? Any questions or comments or?
Been very informative.
What'd you say?
We said at the farmer's market, we gotta start telling them real hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That goes over.
I work farmer's market on Saturday.
Well, start looking up, you can actually find an Aztec hot chocolate recipe online, right? So it'll have achiote. I mean, to be honest, I wanted to be able to like scrape the vanilla in it and do all this kind of stuff with you. But let's try to do that next year. I wanted to be able to do all that with you. But yeah, anybody want to try any more hot chocolate? Any more chocolates?
We never tried number 5.
Ah! So guess what? This is from Soconusco. Remember Soconusco? This is from Soconusco. This is actually a Mexican maker with Mexican cacao. And this one does have mezcal. So it does have alcohol.
Well,
It should be cooked
alcohol
out.
comes out.
It should be cooked out. Yeah, so this is made in Mexico by Mexican makers. Yeah, mezcal.
I'm gonna take pictures of all of them at the end.
Yeah. So we need to try that one, don't we? Do you want to look at the ingredients? I don't think it should have, I think it's 70%, so it shouldn't have milk, but just so you can. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. A lot of fun.